Ever since I was a young lad, I have been terrorized by countless nightmares. Some mellow, some worse. However, I've also always been very curious. Against better judgment, time and time again, I have fed my nightmares with fuel aplenty. Indeed, today I am still fascinated by eerie, creepy, and even scary things. And 3 ongoing works of art are incredibly fascinating to me. The Paddington series, Harmony and Horror, Gemini Home Entertainment, and of course, the reason you probably clicked this video, The Walten Files by Martin Walls. Hello and welcome to the very first video of the Deep Dive Hive, or DDH for short. This will be a series where I offer my thoughts, theories, and thorough investigations on ARGs, horror series, and much, much more. And much like a flea-ridden dog, I've been itching to make this video. I'm barely able to contain my excitement while writing the script or recording this audio, because today we are looking at one of my absolute favorite internet series. It tackles serious topics such as the death of children, car accidents, dismemberments, and murder, and contain visual representations of those, along with other visual and audio content that may be disturbing to some. I'm serious, your well-being is of utmost importance to me. I want people like you to be happy, hale, and hearty. If you are not comfortable with any of these topics or imagery, please click off this video. Take care of yourselves. You are the most important person in your life. If you don't have yourself, you don't have anybody else. I love you, and without further ado, let's start. Brief introduction of the creator and his work. Martin Walls is a creator on YouTube from Chile, who has been on YouTube since 10 October 2014. At some point in time, they worked on a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game called Return to Bob's Burgers. They scrapped the game. However, Martin decided not to scrap the idea. On the 26th of April in 2020, he uploaded his first video of the Walten Files. The Walten Files 1, Company Introductory Tape. From the first 2 seconds of the video, I was immediately engrossed with the concept of the narrative. He's gone on to state, if it isn't obvious enough, I'm going for a much more unsettling / disturbing / uncomfy direction rather than a super scary. I've always had this vision of making it feel much more like a fever dream than anything. In my opinion, it works better and hooks the viewer in a better way. If you ask me, he absolutely nailed what he set out to do. Martin has also stated that there will be 2 whole seasons of the Walten Files, with each containing approximately 6 videos, so it will be 12 videos in total. The videos are ripe with lore, and I'm an absolute lore hound. I love lore, and by God has Martin provided us with juicy lore all over his videos. Please watch his videos for yourself if you are even remotely interested in the topic. Not only will it help you understanding this video, but Martin deserves all the viewers he gets. A link to his channel is in the description. The video starts off in a classic VHS style zoom in on a unsettling image of the face of the franchise, Bond. Text appears at the top of the screen and reads, "A cyberfun tech, Punny Smiles Incorporated restaurant, 1974. The tape goes on to say that this is an introductory tape for new technical support employees hired by Punny Smiles Incorporated. It lists your new tasks, duties, and everything you'd expect from an introductory tape, along with showing you the main stage animatronics who will provide entertainment for the customers. The showstoppers, Bon, the blue bunny, Sha, the sheep, Buzu, the ringmaster, and Banny, the purple bunny. Something feels off. I mean, aside from the pig screeches in the showstoppers rendition of Old MacDonald Had a Farm, it feels eerie. Something is off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. We'll discuss the video after the summary, but it's good to keep in mind. The tape ends with a word from the 2 founders of Bob's Burgers and Punny Smiles Incorporated, Felix Kranken and Jack Walten. It's a fairly standard message, though slightly distorted compared to the rest of the voiceover, saying that the most important thing is not the money or the ratings, but rather that you have a wonderful experience working with them. The video glitches at the end and transitions to a screen showing a picture of a bunker in a forest and a slab of text which reads, Punny Smiles Incorporated Storage Facility K9, Unit Property of Cyberfun Tech, 1975. So, 1 year after the first segment. Save, restore, secure. The BSI, Bunny Smiles Incorporated, storage facility, also known as K9, is a company project to store all valuable items from the closed-for-good Bond's Burgers restaurant. Given the situation about the incident inside 1974's Bond Burgers location, non-disclosed for our and your pleasure, any props, animatronics, and arcade machines will be carefully moved, inspected, and secured inside a bunker located deep down in San Juana's forest for good. The facility caretaker will take care of securing the facility and keeping it safe and working properly. Once again, the tape glitches and the video cuts to a cartoonish looking grey bunny with purple hints and some backwards voice that says once reversed, "You finally start to remember. That old doll. They will be back for you soon, Sophie." Yes, indeed, I agree, but also what the fuck and who are you? A new segment starts presenting itself as a Bunny Smiles Incorporated cartoon from Sunlight Animation, titled Little Bond's Neighborhood, 1979, a Bond Super Sleepover. Written by Sarah Evelyn. A yellow house is shown, which has Brighton 27 written on it as the address. A detail that will help us later. A female voice reads the narrative of the story while cheery music plays. Bond set up an epic sleepover with his friends. He invited Shaw the Sheep, Boozoo the Ringmaster, and a new character called Billy the Clown. They repeat the list to be sure that they didn't forget anyone. The second time, however, Billy is replaced with a realistic picture of Jack Walten, looking somewhat suspiciously at the camera. A loud audio cue plays and then the cartoon resumes as normal. Billy is just a kooky character like that. He's very quirky. You'll love him as soon as you get to know him. Bond shows the movie they will be watching before bed. Oh, dude, this is my favorite movie. It's a classic called Home Video with the same face of Jack Walten on it. The narrator is muffled and the video cuts again to our normal cartoon. They watch the movie on Bond's TV, which is a bony, obvious rip on Sony, from 1978, and the screen reads, "Let me out of here." Also, a pill bottle with the name Sophie Walten is in frame. It's an odd detail, but we'll discuss that later. The screen glitches and the video cuts to the friends all sleeping soundly. Except for Bond. He hears some strange noises coming from the kitchen. He checks it out and looks at the TV screen on the way, which shows a missing poster of the now glitching Jack Walten, which reads, "Missing Jack Walten. Last seen 06/11/1974. A voice is heard, but it sounds more like struggles than actual words. The voice has not yet been deciphered, mainly because it is distorted up the wazoo. The glitches are mainly on the mouth and the eyes of Jack Walten, as if he's silenced or muffled, as well as blinded. Bond continues onward to the kitchen and finds a lighter. Aptly descripted, a lighter. Bond tries to light it 3 times before succeeding and, well, the scene is changed to a woman holding the lighter instead of Bond with the name Sophie on her head. She's wearing a purple uniform and behind her stands a tall, creepy and broken Bond looking over her from the darkness. The captions read, "Ugh, stay," on this particular scene, as if uttered by the woman, referring to the lighter. A loud audio cue plays once again and the tape glitches on to the next segment. A real-life recording from a dashboard of a car showing the car driving through a forest at night. A male voice, the driver, introduces himself as the brand new caretaker for the old Bunny Smiles facility. The recording is from 10/10/1982 at 1:45 past midnight. We see this info briefly before the voice introduces himself. He goes on to say that he is recording this because the company requires an archive of the work history. Strange. He says he doesn't understand it either, but a job is a job, so gotta be able to afford those spanking new games somehow. The location he's traveling to is, when you know it, the aforementioned K9 bunker in San Juana's forest. He explains that a guy named Chris, remember this name, it is shrouded in mystery but it's mentioned a lot throughout the series, told the new caretaker that the bunker hasn't been working since around 1978 or like 1979. What does he mean by working? It's a bunker. It's supposed to contain shit. Like, is the front door broken? Fix it then. Which was about 4 years ago, or so he thinks. This assumption is correct based on the time of the recording. About 3 or 4 years. He says that he expects the bunker to smell horrendous, which is an odd thing to mention in my opinion. He enters and coughs, mentioning the smell, and says, "Smells like a sewer down here, ugh." He found the Bond animatronic who looks proper weathered. The caretaker mentions this is good for the relocate project for the company, which is explained in the second video in the series. He calls the Bond animatronic a doll-like thing, which is something that I find important for theorizing later. He mentions its weathered state and proceeds to test the mechanics of the animatronic with a diagnosis control. First the head and the mouth. They work. The right arm. That also works. Then the left arm. Seems kind of broken. Then the animatronic makes some kind of noise and all body parts begin to move, to the astonishment of the caretaker, who is now completely silent. The noise sounds like distorted laughter. The video cuts to a close-up of the weathered Bond animatronic, empty-eyed against a white background. Human eyes slowly appear in the eye sockets and the animatronic begins to cry a dark liquid with a very loud audio cue. The video then cuts to the caretaker running through the forest, coughing and loudly exclaiming, "What was that thing?" A loud thud is heard and the camera is now pointed at darkness. 2 tiny points of light are seen twitching in it. The caretaker turns on the flashlight, and sure enough, it's the Bond animatronic, now covered in bloodstains, reaching for its own face. The video glitches, displaying the Bond animatronic as if it were crying again, with the dark liquid coming from its eye sockets. The mouth is now flipped into a frown, and the video cuts to a 3D render of a humanoid face, changing expressions with unsettling music playing very loudly. If I were to name the expressions, it goes from shock to fear, to smiling or happy, to empty-eyed, and then realization or guilt. We then see the mangled and bloodied representation of the caretaker. Jaw broken, eyes removed. Text pops up on the screen, which reads, "I can't feel anything. He thought I was her." A card appears slowly on screen while a radar noise plays that reveals the unmangled face of the caretaker and also reveals his name. Brian Stells. And his job being, of course, facility caretaker. Credits roll. Wow. Speculation and theories. Okay, that wasn't as brief of a summary as I predicted, but this is a wonderful setup for the story that's been laid out for us. Okay, first, let's state interesting facts and then theorize. Bond's Burgers is a restaurant that opened in 1974, made by Punny Smiles Incorporated, which works under a bigger company called Cyberfun Tech. The founders of Punny Smiles Incorporated are Felix Kranken and Jack Walten. The latter co-founder goes missing at around 06/11/1974, which is the same year as the restaurant opening. The restaurant then closes in the same year, again, 1974, due to non-disclosed accidents, and the props and assets are moved to a weird bunker in the depths of a forest around late 1974 and early 1975. The restaurant was declared closed for good, and that was it. Among the preserved props were a colorful cast of animatronics called the Showstoppers, consisting of Shad the Sheep, Boozoo the Ringmaster, Benny the Bunny, and of course, Bon the Blue Bunny. An animation is made around 1979, which is about 4 or 5 years after the restaurant closed, of Bon by Sarah Evelyn, a name that isn't mentioned at all in the later installments of the series to my knowledge. The animation was either mysteriously corrupted or made to tell a strange story. I believe that the tape was corrupted personally, because the original female narrator is cut off and muffled whenever the story breaks away from the original content. Then, a man named Brian Stells is later hired in 1982 by one of the two companies. He doesn't mention which one exactly, but it's either Punny Smiles or Cyberfun Tech. He's later killed in the forest by Bond animatronic, or the Bond animatronic, on the very same night. These are incredible puzzle pieces, but nowhere near a cohesive story. However, it's not meant to be the complete picture, but the other videos provide us with more pieces to put together a rough sketch of a complete story. Believe you me, I am very, very excited to talk about those, but you'll have to wait on part 2 of the Deep Dive Hive, Walten Files. I promise you though, it will be worth it. However, if you require more info right now, I would like to refer to another creator who helped my theorizing a lot and makes incredible videos on these mysteries. Their name is Predicted Cyborg, and a link to their channel, as well as Martin's of course, will be in the description. Check them out if you have the time, because they deserve all the love and respect in the world. Until then, you'd better believe that I'm already hard at work on the other scripts, because frankly, Martin's videos only get better from here. God, I love this series so much. Until then, thank you for watching. Consider liking the video if you enjoyed, consider subscribing if you want to see the next video when it comes out, but most importantly, know that BumbLeo loves and appreciates you. Stay hale and hearty, and have a blessed day.